All right, welcome in. Chad Brendel, Tim Adams, BearcatJournal.com. We are here at the Shakely Athletics facility over on the practice field because it's a little loud over there on the main field.
I think this is technically the Jeff Weiler field.
This is the Weiler field. All right. Tim, spring game in the books. 15 spring practices are done. Concluded, obviously, with number 15 out here on the field today, and good showing for the offense.
Real good showing for the offense.
Some big plays.
A lot of big plays. If you're a fan of defense, you didn't see a lot of it here today. We're not totally surprised because three of the what we think are the starting defensive linemen didn't play.
Right.
Mark Wilson, Silverberry Muhan, and Alex Pace did not play. But the offense looked good. They were churning out yards. There was a lot of stars on the offense.
Now, I'm going to call it the Tim Adams, the curse of Tim Adams.
Yeah.
Because you were ready to give one certain person your MVP of the entire spring.
Maybe, yeah.
And Andrew Gantz did not have a good day.
He did not. He came out. The first snap was low. He missed a 38, 39-yard field goal. He missed another 38, 39-yard field goal. Missed 2 extra points. I hadn't seen him miss that many kicks in 14 other practices. And I've got a story in the can about him right now that I'm going to have to change some of it.
You have to rework that thing. You put the whammy on him.
Yeah, it was really a shame because I've seen him kick so well, and he just did not kick very well today.
But on to the bright side, Gunnar Keel looked impressive. The running game looked impressive. And I thought Hayden Moore did a pretty nice job. Couple really, really nice deep balls. One I know to Nate Cole, and then another one to Johnny Holden.
I thought Hayden Moore, he was going against the twos, but in my mind, he may have been the star of the whole scrimmage. He did the ball that well. And UC's got so many good receivers. People got a glimpse of Tashambi Johnson,
nice big play,
who played well today. You talk about the receivers, they had us, but the running backs. Oh my! Mike Boone was really, really good.
He's so fun to watch. He had a 60-yard touchdown run right up the middle. Just patience, waited for the hole. As soon as that hole presented itself, and he was gone.
There was only one thing about it. He did get caught one time. I think he got caught one time. But all three running backs looked good. I thought Tion was very good today.
Couple touchdown runs.
Right, and Jose Williams, who we thought would start this game, he broke some tackles and played well. But to me, even though Boone is probably taking 13 snaps, I just think he is an exceptional talent, and I still think he needs to get 20 touches.
I agree with you, and I think that'll play itself out as you get into the summer and get closer to the season. I think there's definitely a luxury to have three different style of guys, but when you've got a threat like Mike Boone, you've got to do what you can to get him on the floor.
And he can catch the ball, too. Yeah. That's the thing. He was a receiver in high school. He catches the ball well. He's just so patient. He waits. He finds the little nooks and crannies. He can make you miss. He can break attack. Yeah, I just think he's one of the better backs we've seen down here. By the way, Jeremy Larkin was here today, too, so from LaSalle High School. Wouldn't mind seeing him.
A little preview of this is what you might be able to do when your time comes if you come to Cincinnati. But overall, had to be pleased. The crowd was fantastic.
Everywhere.
The place was full. The seats were full. The bleachers were full. They had fans lined up all the way around
the rod-on fencing. There was people everywhere.
There were people up on the fence on Calhoun or on Corey, watching from up on the fence. So I was pleasantly surprised with the turnout and the support that they had today.
Yeah, in that little smaller venue, I think we had another scrimmage game here and there at spring game, and it wasn't nearly as attended as that. And one of the concerns I know some of our members had, it was on Easter weekend, and thought the crowd would be lower, but that was not the case, my friends. It was a packed house here.
Well, we showed up, and by the time we all got together on the field and figured out our plan of attack, there was nowhere to sit. We couldn't go get where we planned on sitting because the bleachers were full.
And thank goodness Dave Simone was up there, so Dave actually had a better vantage point than I did. He's going to do the practice report today in lieu of mine, and I'm going to do tidbits or something. But Dave actually did a good job of tweeting out a lot of the information during the scrimmage.
All in all, good day. Anything else really stand out? The one thing I wanted to mention, the two young cornerbacks, they're huge.
Oh, J.J. Pinkney, that size helps him.
That's a big boy. And that's a legit 6'3", and he looks almost bigger than 6'3" when he's out there on the wide receivers.
He's very noticeable out there, and when they're running a sideline right down the field and he's got that inside, he's got a huge advantage because not only his height but that reach. And that's one thing that I've noticed in the spring practices is when he's running side by side, where Chris Moore can go up over a cornerback and catch the ball, he's not going to be able to do it over a JJP.
That's a big, young, promising kid. Anything else really stand out to you?
Well, I think one thing we have to keep in mind is because the defense didn't have three of their best defensive linemen out there, but I thought Kevin Muhan was active. I thought he made some plays. We did a video with Landon Brazil so people could get an idea how big he is. I thought Brazil was real close. One of the things about when you play this kind of scrimmage, you know you can't hit the quarterback. So you're fight, and then you have to sort of pull up instead of getting to that quarterback. And I thought there were maybe a few times when Brazil could have gotten to that quarterback if he had wanted to make that final surge. But the defense overall gave up quite a few points, and it's still, I think, when you walk out here, a concern when you think about next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, because when you look at the offense, I mean, receivers everywhere, 3 running backs, a number 1 in his class quarterback prospect, and then Hayden Moore showing some promise as a backup. Offense, you look at it, and the line held up pretty well. You look at them and you go, wow. Defense, you go, well, they're going to get tested every day.
They do. And, one of the things I thought, although we hated to see Jared Evans go through this whole legal situation, but it gave Hayden Moore a lot of reps.
Yeah.
I got to tell you that I feel a lot better going into next year if Hayden Moore is the backup than I did coming into spring football, because he looks like a kid that can help you win.
Yeah, I mean, he got the ball out. He wasn't holding on to it and dancing around. He got the ball out quick. He made some good intermediate throws, and then, like we mentioned, the couple deep balls that he threw were just perfectly led, right on point for two long touchdowns. So I thought he was probably, if we were doing an MVP, he would probably get mine today as well.
I think punting was sketchy.
Yeah.
Sam Geraci did a good job with one kick, getting the reverse spin on it, getting it inside. He had actually 2, but the second one, it couldn't have been much higher than 10 or 12 feet off the ground. It hit in bounds. It turned into a great punt, but I'm not sure that was the design of that kick. But he didn't look as good as I'm hoping that he will look next year. Let's put it that way.
And the kicking game was not good.
The kicking game overall, the special teams were not special. There was no real kick returns, although they kind of went through the motions. But as far as the kicker and the punter and the place kicker, it was below average. I don't think there's any question about that.
At least they'll have something to motivate those boys from now until summer practice begins. So that's going to pretty much be it for a little while on the football front in terms of on the field action. And obviously we'll always have recruiting coverage and plenty more to come as they get into summer workouts and whatnot. But overall impression, successful spring?
I think so. I think they addressed some things. Like I said, I think they got some reps for some defensive linemen that sorely needed. Those 2 junior college tackles, I think, are key to next year. They've got to get better. I'm really looking forward to Lyndon Johnson coming in here, seeing what he can do, because I think he is a very important piece to this puzzle. Offensively, they look just really good. We expected them to look good. They did. Offensive line-wise, I think we've got our starting offensive 5. I think now it's a matter of filling it in to that 8 to 10. And I talked to Ryan Stout today. A member mentioned about Ryan Stout. I got it covered. I talked to him today. We'll have a story on him in the next week or so.
All right. I'm sure we'll have more on the weekly podcast. We'll probably get to that Monday or Tuesday of this week before I hit the road. So we'll have some more spring game there. We'll actually have a ton of spring game coverage coming up. Like you mentioned, Dave's got the practice report. You'll have a tidbits. We got this video. We got a little bit of video with Gunner, the video with Landon. You've got a story coming on Stout. So
we got stories in the can on Gans and David Niehaus. So we got a lot of football yet to come.
You got to get back and rework that game. You can talk to that young man. Tell him you're sorry. That's going to wrap it up. He's Tim Adams. I'm Chad Brendel, BearcatJournal.com.